Listen to the right applause. Find out why you should take care of whose applause you seek in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. My sister and I developed multiple ways to avoid doing chores. Actually, my sister only had one. She always just said it was my job. Since that excuse was already taken, I had to develop several of my own. None of them worked. When you're the youngest, you don't have anybody else to pass the buck. The Pharisees were professionals at denying responsibility. They exhibit their talent in John chapter 12, beginning with verse 42. Nevertheless, many, even of the authorities, believed in him, but for fear of the Pharisees they did not confess it, so that they would not be put out of the synagogue. For they loved the glory that comes from man more than the glory that comes from God. In verse 37, the Bible describes how many, even after seeing Jesus raise Lazarus from the dead, still refused to believe in Jesus. However, according to verse 42, many people, including some of the authorities, realized they could not deny what Jesus had done or who he was. Jesus brought a man back from the dead. Only God could do that. Even though they realized the truth, they didn't tell anybody. They had reason to be silent. The Pharisees would throw them out of the synagogue if they did. So they chose to be silent. Verse 43 identifies the reason. For they love the glory that comes from man more than the glory that comes from God. Standing up to the Pharisees was a difficult choice. Excommunication from the synagogue meant more than just joining another synagogue down the street. Those who left the synagogue would also face shunning by the community. No one would do business with them. No one would sell them property. No one would want them living in their neighborhood. It was a high price to pay. But John notes the alternative. Which was more important, the applause of men or the glory of God? Was getting a good seat at the restaurant worth more than proclaiming the truth? Well, for some, it was. Taking our focus off of serving the Lord is far easier than we want to admit. We're like the man who drove his car into a ditch, doing thousands of dollars in damage to his vehicle and surrounding property. When the officer responding to the wreck asked him what happened, he said, "Well, I dropped a quarter and I was trying to get it off the floorboard. I didn't want to lose it." We focus on so many things that seem important at the time, only to destroy what really matters. Can you remember the person voted most popular in your junior high? Do you remember who had the nicest car or wore the nicest clothes in high school? I can't even remember what I wore in high school, much less what anyone else wore. I could probably look up who was the most popular in my yearbook if I could find it. Don't make the mistake of sacrificing the important for the trivial. Some will believe if we only will take time to tell them about Jesus. Realize how important your witness for Christ really is. Focus on what matters, because now you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from His Word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.